President Donald Trump told European nations to stop buying oil from Russia and demanded they stop immediately to help bring an end to Russia's war with Ukraine. "Not fair to us," Trump told reporters on the White House South Lawn as he departed for the United Kingdom. According to Associated Press, Trump said Saturday he believes the Russia-Ukraine war would end if all NATO countries stopped buying oil from Russia and placed tariffs on China of 50% to 100% for its purchases of Russian petroleum. Since 2023, NATO member Turkey has been the third largest buyer of Russian oil, after China and India. According to the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air.
Mr. President, it's been a month since you Vladimir Putin in Alaska. A month on, do you think that meeting accomplished what you hoped?
Yeah, accomplished a lot, but it takes two to tango also. You know, those are two people, Zelensky and Putin, that hate each other. And it looks like I have to sit in the room with them because they can't sit in the room together. There's great hatred there. But no, that meeting accomplished a lot.
Mr. President,
what will you tell President Zelensky if you meet with him in New York?
Well, he's going to have to get going and make a deal. He's going to have to make a deal. Zelensky's going to have to make a deal. And Europe has to stop buying oil from Russia. Okay? You know, they talk, but they have to stop buying oil from Russia.
Mr. President, there are some... The UAE, Mr. President. What do you think they want when you do a deal with them? Will you apply more pressure to EU and NATO countries not to purchase Russian oil?
I do, but here's the problem. You know the problem. They're purchasing Russian oil. I don't want them purchasing Russian oil. And they've got to stop immediately. Not fair to us. They're purchasing Russian oil, and we have to, you know, do things. Now, the nice part, it doesn't cost us anything anymore. You know that.
Yeah.
They are buying everything from us. Unlike Biden, who gave away $350 billion. We actually make money, but I don't want to make money. You know what I want? I want that war to stop. Because last week, 7,018 people got killed.
Can you provide a president on tariffs?
Started today, just now. You know, 70 patriots in Ukraine 2 months ago.
Where are you from?
Ukraine.
Good.
Will they come, and do you know when they will come? The patriots.
What will come? Who?
The patriots. You announced 70 patriots to Ukraine 2 months ago.
Well, look, let me just tell you, I love Ukraine. I love the people of Ukraine. That's why I asked. I thought that was a little Ukrainian accent, but the country's in serious trouble. It should have never happened. It's a war that should have never happened. The country's in very serious trouble, but I'm going to get it stopped. I've done seven countries. I've stopped 7 wars in the last 8 months. I thought that would have been the easiest because I know Putin, but it's not, because there's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. But we're going to get it stopped.
How soon will you go to the Supreme Court to stop Mr. Club?
Mr. President. Mr. President. Mr. President. Stephen Myron. Stephen Myron was confirmed.
President just signed Stephen Myron's commission. So he is now on the Fed. I'm going to call him in a few minutes from the helicopter. And he's a good man. Most of you know him. He's very talented. He'll have a big influence on this. We're too late getting his rates down, I guess. Who knows? You never know we're too late, but he's done a lousy job. The rate should be much lower, much lower. But I just signed his document and all of the papers, and Steve Myron is now on.
Did you believe in the independence on the Federal Reserve? Round of offensive is now underway in Gaza City. Your reaction to it?
Well, we're going to see what happens because I hear Hamas is trying to use the old human shield deal, and if they do that, they're going to be in big trouble. They're going to be in big trouble. They put it out 2 days ago that they're going to use the hostages as human shields. That's something that hasn't done for a long time, you know? Let me tell you, if they do that, they're in big trouble.
On the Federal Reserve, do you believe the Federal Reserve is an independent body? What do you think about the independence?
Oh, it should be, but I think they should listen to smart people like me. I think I have a better instinct than him. If you look, all the economists got it wrong. I got it right along with 1 other people out of 100. So they should listen to people that are smart. Nothing wrong with that. but they have to make their own choice. But they should listen.
Asian, did you speak to Prime Minister Netanyahu?
No, I didn't.
What about the idea of Israel beginning this ground offensive in Gaza City? Do you support that?
Well, I have to see. I mean, I don't know too much about it. I can tell you that if they put the hostages in front of them, Hamas, as protection, as what they call them bodyguards, Hamas is going to have hell to pay. Quiet.
Mr. President, what are you hearing about the operation in Gaza, the Israeli operation? Are you concerned?
Well, I'm hearing that they want to go in, and I'm also hearing that Hamas wants to take our 20 hostages, plus dead bodies. You know, they have about 32 of them, and they want to put them in the way of any attack. And nobody's happy about that situation. It came out yesterday. I'm sure you saw that. They want to, supposedly they've taken the hostage out of deep caves and tunnels, and they're bringing them, putting them on the front line. That's, nobody's heard of that one for a few centuries.
Saw that the UN said that Israel is guilty of genocide, that they've committed acts of genocide in Gaza.
They voted on that?
New report out saying multiple acts of genocide.
When it comes to a vote, we'll see what happens. That'll come to a vote, but we'll see what happens.
The UAE, Mr. President. What do you think they want when you do a deal with them? On TikTok. Will TikTok go dark? Are you going to delay the TikTok ban?
Well, we have a deal on TikTok. I've reached a deal with China. I'm going to speak to President Xi on Friday to confirm everything up. We made a very good trade deal, and I hope good for both countries, but a very different deal than they've made in the past.
What companies are going to buy
We'll be announcing that. We have a group of very big companies that want to buy it. And, you know, the kids wanted it so badly. I had parents calling me up. They don't want it for themselves. They want it for their kids. They say, if I don't get it done, they're in big trouble with their kids. And I think it's great. I hate to see value like that thrown out the window.
So on auto, can I ask you, so auto executives...
You know, you're talking about tens of billions of dollars.
Some auto executives are concerned.
And Cash, you know, if you take a look at what he did with respect to this horrible person that he just captured. He did it in 2 days. It took other similar cases 4 days, 5 days, 4 years, if you look at certain shooters. Now, I have confidence in everybody in the administration. My administration, and a lot of people are saying it, not just me, it's so far the best administration ever formed.
Compromising the 15% for auto tariffs coming in hurts American automakers. Which states I have exactly my opinion. Narcotics in Venezuela. Narcotics in Venezuela. President Maduro in Venezuela says that you're getting ready to invade his country. What is his message to him?
Well, I would say this right away. Stop sending Tren de Aragua into the United States. Stop sending drugs into the United States. We knocked off actually 3 boats, not 2, but you saw 2. And the problem is there are very few boats out in the water. There are not a lot of boats out in the water. I can't imagine why. Not even fishing boats. There's nobody. Nobody wants to go take a fish. So it's one of those things. But I would say to him very strongly, stop sending people from your prisons into our country.
Generally regarded as being the wealthiest man who's ever occupied the White House.
I hope so.
How much wealthier are you now than when you returned to the White House?
Well, I don't know. The deals I made, for the most part, other than what my kids are doing, you know, they're running my business. But most of the deals that I've made were made before. And that's what I've done for a life. I built buildings like I'm building a building here. You know where I'm building? You know what? You see that area?
Yeah.
That is going to be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. And for 150, so it gives me pleasure to do it for the country.
But is it appropriate, President Trump, that a president in office should be engaged in so much business activity?
Well, I'm really not. My kids are running the business. I'm here. You know what the activity, where are you from?
I'm from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Four Corners program.
Well, the Australians, you're hurting Australia, right? In my opinion, you are hurting Australia very much right now. And they want to get along with me. You know, Your leader is coming over to see me very soon. I'm going to tell him about you. You set a very bad tone.
Well,
Go ahead,
President
John.
Trump, when the
Maybe
UAE
you
does a deal like
can
that,
set a
when
nicer
the UAE does a deal, what does it want in return?
Quiet. The question is whether or not we overlap with a federal judge. So they're looking at that. But the state is very competent. The governor's doing a very good job. And what do you make Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech. We'd probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. So maybe they'll have to go after you. Look, we want everything to be fair. It hasn't been fair. And the radical left has done tremendous damage to the country, but we're fixing it.
Mr. President, what do you think they want when you do a deal with them?
Well, I just want something to happen, whether it's federal, state, most likely it's going to be state. The question is whether or not we overlap with a federal judge. So they're looking at that. But the state is very competent. The governor's doing a very good job. As you know, they have the death penalty. It's a tough death penalty too, as you know, but they have the death penalty. So as to whether or not we judge, we will be working with them. We may or may not be able to judge.
And when it comes to the governor of Utah, what do you make of his overall message of nonviolence?
Well, I agree with it. I agree 100%. But most of the violence is on the left.
He said that social media is a cancer.
What?
Do you agree with that? The Utah governor said that social media is a cancer and more people should log off and take some time away.
Well, it's not a cancer in all respects. In some respects, it's great. But there are segments, there are deep, dark holes that are cancerous, absolutely. Beyond cancer, they're death.
How are you going to get China to open their market?